So I made a little bit of a video talking about this concept, and then somebody commented below and was like, I would love to hear a video that I've done in the past, but I'm getting more people coming in. I would like to go over this concept. I think it's very interesting. It really goes to show how medicine and how language has been used language has been used to subjugate people, subjugate, weaponized. Language is both facilitative and it can be detrimental sometimes, and we'll just get on into it. So I was talking about the term and the concept. I want to make sure that you guys are in the frame and you can see everything. Okay, so the concept of the wandering uterus, this is something that we actually have. This goes back all the way to Greek antiquity, because think male chauvinism, think all that manly stuff for trying to subjugate women always and forever. Shout you guys out because you guys are making more than a resurgence, and all these boys don't know what to do with themselves because they're like, wait, Anyways, I'm not going to talk about incels, and I'm not going to talk about I don't know, I'm trying to learn about terms like actually, I still don't know really what it means to be red-pilled or blue-pilled or anything like that, but I know that there's this connotation to this manosphere and going back to traditional lifestyle and weird stuff, and anyways, don't be like those guys, come on. Those guys follow Charlie Kirk. Anyways, RIP, but still, he has the ugliest face known to mankind. So, what do we got here? We got hysteria. Hysteria, really, actually, it's where we get hysterical. Well, what is hysterical? It's actually an emotional response a lot of the time. But it comes from the Greek hystra. Hystra, referring to womb and or uterus in this case, right? That's where you get that hystra, that uterus from, harkening upon hysteria. So, hysteria means uterus. This is where we get the term hysterical. Why do we have the term hysterical when we refer to things like being hysterical, when, we're laughing hysterically? It's this emotional response that we can't really contain, really. It just happens. So this is where the wandering uterus came around. Because back in late antiquity, the uterus was thought to wander, essentially. That also led to infidelity and all those kinds of things. Because even though all the men were seeming to be the ones that were cheating, they ended up blaming the women no matter what. I'm like, just look at any sort of Greek hero and or Zeus and or any sort of person that, anyways, I could go off. I don't want to. I'm trying to have a lot of thoughts in my head. So, the wandering uterus. So, it's thought to wander outside, leading to infidelity, but because men didn't really understand emotional responses and this and that and whatnot, they hearkened it upon the fact that the uterus itself would wander, and when a woman would display emotional responses that were hysterical in nature and unable to be quelled and tamed, that was when the uterus had wandered from here up into the throat. Why? Why is that? It's because you women, you have a cervix, right? And this is when 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 4 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10 all came together for me, because this is where you get a cervical spine. What's a cervical spine? The cervical spine makes up the neck. You have your cervical, thoracic, and lumbar plus sacrum here, but cervical makes up the neck. So this being the neck, essentially, of the uterus, wandering up from the cervix here, which I don't have but women do, wandering up into the cervical spine, which would then turn into the emotional response. So whether it be your wandering uterus wandering outside leading you to infidelity, or wandering outside out of your mouth into hysterical responses, that is when they started to implement things back in the 20s, like orgasm such. And look up the first mechanical orgasm. It was meant to cure depression. It was meant to cure hysteria, that kind of stuff. And also men, like I said, I don't trust male gynecologists. That being said, though, I wanted to bring it back to Latin a little bit here and also talk about the term, an word that I love, and actually one of my favorite movies of all time, The Matrix. The matrix comes from mater. Mater in Latin means womb. This is where you get maternity, matriarchy, matrimony, because when you were wedded back in antiquity, you can thank male chauvinism again, because matrimony meant that that woman, once being wedded, was being made a mother, essentially. Because when you got married, that was when motherhood started out, because you had to start popping out kids, I guess. So, mater meaning mother, coming from matrix meaning womb. So if you didn't know, now you know. The mother is the enveloping nature of this world. Think about it. Think about it. The matrix. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I could go off, but I've already gone off quite a bit, so I'm going to shut up now, but I hope you learned something new.